All right. So again, let's talk sponsorship. Sometime it's coming. Sometime it's pretty much here. At least today we have beautiful warm weather, right? How are you putting yourself in front of sponsors? How are you presenting yourself in front of sponsors? What information are you sharing with your with sponsors? Oh, let me go and get this. Let me get some water. You know. All right, I'm back. So, what information are you sharing with sponsors? What are you telling them? Right. So, this right now, let's focus on the for profits because with a nonprofit, the lingo needs to be different. It doesn't matter how much funding you are asking for, but the lingo for nonprofits needs to be different. So, I'm going to focus on the for profit. So if you are seeking sponsorship, you're having an event and it costs, let's say, $10,000, there are companies that will fund it. How do you know if you're targeting the right sponsors? Well, you look at your audience. What does your audience buy? Who are they shopping with? And then you look for those products that are targeting that demographic, your audience, and you connect with them. You reach out to them. You let them know what you have to offer. How much money do you ask for? Listen, if it's you can ask for the entire cost of your event, you can get the entire cost sponsored, or you can get a portion of it. That's totally up to you. What really matters is the value that you are returning to sponsors. So if you ask for $10,000, you need to return minimum, just the minimum of $10,000 to sponsors. Because again, this is not a donation, this is a sponsorship. So when you think about the baseball games that you might see on television and you see all those banners, like sponsorship is more than that. You need to quantify the budget. Okay, I'm asking for $10,000. How am I going to get this 10,000 back? Says the sponsors. So you will say, well, is the visibility or the leads? Well, how many leads? How do we track visibility? Right? So we need to return that back to the sponsors and need to prove it after the event takes place. Now we need to provide the metrics, whether we are using a QR code, some type of AI, we're doing it hands on, collecting leads. We can prove that we actually return value to that sponsor, and then we can ask for more money. Especially if you're doing this event every single year. You don't want to be caught in in a loop of asking for sponsorship every single year, right? You just don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you keep the sponsors, and how you keep the sponsor is by proving that the sponsorship was successful. When something works, you will use it again, right? So that is very important to show them that the sponsorship, how the sponsorship was successful. Okay. Questions? So many times, well, people treat sponsorship as though it's just a handout. And then when they go back to that sponsor for money or a resource, the sponsor says no. Why? Why do they say no? Because they didn't receive any value, especially now when there's so much budget cut. I know in the United States, there are lots of budget cuts. So organizations cannot afford to have their events. So where do they go? Do they stop having their event? Do they stop helping their community? Right? And some of them have to. I read that I think it's a Job Corp or somewhere like that will not exist any longer. So the audience that was being helped, those teenagers, those young people, where do they go if they don't have anything else? So the problem isn't the budget cut. The problem is that people are not utilizing all of the resources that are out here to assist them. Sponsorship is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. The day that sponsorship goes anywhere is the day when we know that we're totally trapped. Like that's when a company is saying that thank you for your business, but I'm not giving anything back to you. That's when we know we are in some serious trouble because with sponsorship, it has to be a give and take. If we are purchasing your products and your services, that means we are your target audience. And that means if we are having events, right, then you can benefit from these events. So give us what we're asking for, and we will return value to you. Because going are those days when it's only about donations. Like going are those days. Now we will have those huge corporations who will continue to give the donations to the big nonprofit sector, right? Because that's how they do business. But what about the smaller ones, right? So the small ones need to really find out how else can I generate revenue to my event and to my organizations. Quick. So, hi, my name is Roberta Vigilance. In case you are not familiar with who I am, and my link is in the bio. I've been in the event sponsorship space for over 25 years. I started as an event planner looking for money for my events, and I found the sponsorship realm. It actually came to me as I was looking for money. My background is in B2B and B2C sales, and I went into event planning. So when I learned how to secure sponsors, I decided, let me share this information. Let me teach other event planners and promoters how to secure sponsors for their events. And here I am, years later, still bringing this message to event organizers, event planners, and nonprofits as well, so that they can get funding for their events. Okay. Hi, Vito. So, again, okay. Like that's funny. Well, it was just so we have some warm weather over here, and yeah, we are already hearing how hot it is. So I'm guessing it's gonna be a hot summer. Lots of events. So if we were to think about those hot, whether it's an outdoor event, maybe there is some type of product that can show us how to stay cool while outdoors, right? And let's say, we have our own outdoors, in our backyards, right? And we see this product at an event showing us how to keep cool. But guess what? They will make a good sponsors. They would pay to be at your event to tell your audience that we exist and this is how great we are. And as a attendee and a person who has a home with a backyard, then I would be intrigued to purchase that product, right? So sponsorship is so important because companies need you. The moment we stop purchasing their products, they will no longer be a business, right? We know that. So we need to align with the right sponsors. Okay. Again, how do we do that? We look for sponsors, we look for companies, we look for brands that are targeting our audience. And we approach those brands with our sponsorship proposal, with our offer. We say, we are having this event. This is the target audience. This is how much money we are seeking. And this is what we're going to give to you for the money that we're seeking. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple. What information do we put into our sponsorship proposal? Of course, we have the who, what, where, when, why. We don't need to do a breakdown of what we're using the sponsorship for. This is not a grant, it's not a proposal, it's not a, excuse me, it's not a donation. We just need to tell them, this is our event, this is how much we're asking for, and this is what we are returning to you, in addition to details about the event as well. Okay. All right, let's see if we have any questions coming in. Any questions about securing sponsors for your events? And you can find me on my website, robertavigilance.com. The link is in my bio. Go learn how to secure sponsors. If you have any questions, ask them to me now. Or you can wait until later when there's another budget cut. Right? So be ahead of the game. Get the funding that you need to implement your event. Know that sponsorship is often confused with donation and grants. We know that's not what it is because I've been saying it for a very long time, right? Like this is it's different. It's different type of transaction. And if you have again any questions, you can put those questions there, and you can also visit me online if you have any. um, I have my book there, I have classes. But while we're here, ask any questions. The summertime is here, events. The process, it can take 6 months. It could take up to a year, depending on the budget. It could take actually one day if you're looking for smaller sponsorship. We were talking about maybe $1,000. You can go to a store that's in your community, a business that's in your community, ask them to sponsor you. Again, I want to strengthen this. I want to take this for you to take this home, is that you need to provide, you need to return value back to that business because it's not a handout. So you must return value back to the business. This way, you can go back to them and get more sponsorship. You prove to them that, listen, this $1,000 I was able to make you 1,500, 2,000. I was able to do so by the lead generation, by placing you, taking you from offline and now bringing you online, because a lot of small businesses, they don't really have that online exposure. And maybe you do. Maybe you have a following online and you can leverage that to help that sponsor gain that online visibility. So you prove to that sponsor, I mean, that has value, right? So you're returning value to that sponsor and they make money, you make more money, and they would gladly sponsor you the following year because you have helped them to achieve their goals, correct? Right? Someone comes in and help you to achieve your goals, you will want to stick with them. And then you can also look for the long-term sponsorship. So it's not only about one event, right? It's you want to look into the following year. Right. Price it together. Let's do a 3-year type of deal and save them some money that way. Okay. For bigger budget, if you're looking for $100,000 or more, then we talking about some corporate sponsors, or we talking about a lot of locals businesses to become our sponsors, right? But if we're talking about corporate sponsors, then that process takes a longer time. If you are starting with zero connection, like how I started many years ago, if you're starting from with the cold call, like I started many years ago, that takes time to get to the right person. Now, my background was in sales, so it helped me to connect, get to the right person faster. And if you're looking to save time, I would say go read my ebook. Um, it will help you greatly. Um, if you're doing it, no, the person might be out on maternity leave. Right? The gatekeeper might not know what you're talking about and need to get to the right department. So the process takes time to get to that 600 to that 6 digit sponsorship with corporations, I should say. Okay, so give yourself enough time, 6 months to a year. And also, so important, you need time to activate that sponsorship. Time is needed to activate the sponsorship. So let's say your event is 3 weeks away. You're like, okay, I just need $5,000. Let's just say in 3 weeks, which is not impossible, but time is needed to promote your event and promote that sponsor. Can you do that within those 3 weeks? Yes, some of you can because you have the audience, you have the engagement. So you get online and then everything lights up, or you have an event and everyone attends. So yes, you can return value. But if it's slow motion, you need time. You need, weeks, months at times to promote an event and to get that sponsor some type of visibility and traction coming in. So waiting until the last minute, that's not helpful. And I get that a lot. People say, well, my event is 3 weeks away and I need X amount of dollars. That's me living on my page. Okay. Any questions for me? Any questions? I love to answer sponsorship questions. I've been in the sponsorship space for over 25 years. I started as an events planner. And when I learned how to secure sponsors, like I'm self taught, when I learned this, um, then I wanted to teach others how they too can secure sponsors for their events. I work with clients inside the US, outside as well. Um, Sold books in Australia and Europe because how I teach how to secure a sponsor is the universal way. There are three things. These three things, these three things. You can secure sponsors anywhere in the world. It does not matter. Size doesn't matter. The type of event doesn't matter. Now, as I said earlier, that if you are a nonprofit, you have to be mindful, especially in the US, with the language that you use because you need to stay IRS compliant. So you could get in some trouble. But I'm talking to for-profits right now. Okay. Use these three methods and you will be able to secure sponsors anywhere in the world. Corporate sponsors, media sponsor, doesn't matter. So here it goes. One is understanding sponsorship. I recently updated my book. It was first written in 2005, and then I updated it in 2025. Okay. So that's the first thing. Understand sponsorship. Get rid of those misconceptions that would leave money on the table, right? Because you're thinking you have to be a nonprofit to get sponsorship. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You think that sponsorship is a grant? No, it isn't. You think it's free money. Like, we need to change this mindset. So, the first thing is understanding sponsorship. Some people think it's an affiliate. These corporate companies out here pimping a lot of small to medium sized business owners and even the huge events, they are pimping them. Okay, talking about affiliate marketing. It's not the same. Once you get it right, once you know your stuff, then you can speak up on it and start getting more money. If you want to do affiliate, that's one way to get income. If you want to do sponsorship, is another way. See? But if you mix the two, then that's just one source, right? Make sense? So the first out of the three, understanding sponsorship. The second one is communicating. That's how I got into the sponsorship industry. Communicating. Like when I first started back in the 90s, I am planning events. I used to go up to companies and say, "Hey, would you uh, invest in my event?" Because again, my background is in sales, B2B and B2C sales, right? So I would say, "Would you invest in my event?" All of the companies in my community, all of them said yes, they'll invest because, of course, I had a relationship with them. And not only did I say, "Would you invest?" I would say, "Would you invest in my event to become up close and personal with my target audience?" Right? Because I was so passionate about my event. So they all said yes. Hmm. I went into corporate America. Same thing because it was working for me. Why would I say something different? So I went into corporate America and I said the same thing. Would you invest in my event in exchange for becoming up close and personal with my target audience? Girl, they kicked me out of their office like so fast. Like, you see that exit sign? Like, get out of here. And I realized because of sales, because my background in sales, like, no, I was able to overcome rejection. No meant either I was doing something wrong or something was off. I found out, you know what was off? My language. Everything that I was doing was spot on. But the sponsorship realm is not invest. And that's where I don't remember where I picked up the word sponsorship. I don't know if it's, and I don't believe, and I keep saying, I don't know if it's Kinko's. Um, I don't believe it's Beth. Beth worked at Adidas. I don't know if they were like, "Do you mean sponsor, not invest?" Um, but I don't know where I picked up the word, but I did. And when I picked up the word and changed my language up from invest to sponsor, like that's when I was able to get that corporate clients, corporate sponsors. That's where I was able to get the funded for my events. just the co- just that little thing. It's amazing. So the right language. We do have some professionals who, they might not know the sponsorship lingo and you can get away with certain things. Like, for example, when I read some of my clients or some people sponsorship proposal, it starts off very strong, like, "Would you sponsor my event?" Even when they sent me over their website, like, "Would you sponsor my event?" And then you scroll on down to the bottom, and then it says, "You can donate here." Like, some professionals wouldn't catch on and they'll let you go, but if you want to be proficient, if you wanna be excellent at what you do so that you can optimize your chances of getting more sponsorship, then it's best to know the lingo because with a trained and savvy sponsorship professional, they are not going to want to sponsor or donate to your event because now they're confused. Like, what are you asking me? Right? That's two different transactions. So you must know communicating. And then the third out of the three. So we know understanding is one, understanding sponsorship, communicating with sponsors, and the third one is selling your event to sponsors. How do you do that? How do you sell your events to sponsors? Remember, my background is in sales, and it's very simple. It's not a scary thing. Selling your event to sponsor is so simple. It's just pretty much telling them, "This is what I have to offer. This is my event, and this is what I have to offer, and this is how much money I'm asking for, and this is what I'm giving you in exchange for that money that I'm asking what I'm asking for." It's really simple. It's not complicated. Your sponsorship proposal should be concise, it should be clear. You don't need 6, 7, 8 pages of text. We have to respect people time. If you know your stuff, then you would know how to put that into your sponsorship proposal, and my book helps you with that because it covered those 3 sections, right? Understanding, communicating, and selling. So you read how to secure sponsors successfully, you'll be able to secure sponsors easily. It's you'll be able to secure sponsors, and you can come back and thank me later. It's not complicated. Don't want to trust ChatGPT because remember, ChatGPT is picking up the same information, the same false information that's out there on the internet and just throwing it back at you. But if you are savvy in sponsorship, like I am, because that's my area of expertise, I've been there, done that. Check out my website. I have over 100 business owners who can tell you that, okay, Roberta, this is who she is. And so you go there and and get the book and start reading it and come back and thank me later. Okay. Tell me how much sponsorship you brought in. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. Like, don't wait until the last minute. As I mentioned, it's a process. It's a process. We're talking about 3 months minimum for smaller budgets. If you're looking for, say, $5,000 or $10,000, you can get two or four $2,500 sponsors. You can get 10 $1,000 sponsors and group them together. So I went to an event, a ribbon cutting event. Actually, it was my first time going to a ribbon cutting event um, a few days back, and someone was giving out flyers. And on that flyers, he had so many sponsors. Like it was like sponsor galore. So it's not to say that the person who has one sponsor is less than the one who has 100 sponsors, but here's the thing, what I noticed on that flyer is that if you were to get those 10 sponsors, as I just mentioned, and at the $1,000, and that's the $10,000 that you bring in, and it's the flyer starts to look a little congested, a little busy, then organize it, not by gold, silver, bronze. Not by that, unless it's a sporting event and the sporting community understands it. But to be more efficient, to effective in returning value to the sponsor, then it would go a little bit something like this. Get it? All right. So you will categorize the sponsor by many ways. One of which is their industry. So on his flyer, he had city officials as sponsors. But if you didn't live in that community, you wouldn't know there were city officials. You'll just see a bunch of faces and be like, okay, individuals sponsor the event. So you can name it city official sponsors. That will now let the audience know who the city officials are, especially if you are new to the area, right? Or to reinforce it as well. Even if you've been living there a long time, you still might not would know who the city official is. You're like, oh, okay. So that's one way. They have also a different you have different restaurant, different supermarkets as a sponsor. One way you could do it is supermarket sponsors. So we know again, oh, these supermarkets sponsors this type of events. So I'm going to go shop there because they are into what I'm into, right? And you can even do a subcategory. Like this one here deals with vegan stuff, right? Because I'm a vegan. So finding out stores that I can shop at will save me so much time. I'll look at the flyer and I see. So these are value that you can return to sponsors. Put that QR code there. I walk into that in that vegan supermarket, give them my QR code, and the sponsor knows, okay, this this person came from this event. Right. So there are many ways that you can return value back to your sponsors. And this way you get you get to keep your sponsors. You don't have to keep looking for sponsors every single year. You can have more money that's coming in. You know that's set. You don't have to continue to look, right? You have that set, and now what you can do, you can start bringing in more sponsors, making more money, making a profit. You can enhance your event. You can expand it to different areas. There are so many things that you can do. You can hire staff. There's so many things that you can do. One of the problems that I must admit that the I want to say it's more so of the event planners. It's more so an issue on their side than on the sponsor side, is that they look at sponsorship, or I should say, the smaller amounts of sponsorship. They look at it as it's just only a small sponsorship. It's like a small, it's value. It's value. It's the relationship you have in your hand, right? Like, she's only a friend. Like, yeah, she's only a friend. Do you know what it is to have a friend around town? Right? So you nourish that relationship and you grow it and you grow it. So don't frown upon the little, I don't know, you got me saying little. Don't frown upon the humble beginnings because it's just not a little thing. For a business owner to give you $500, $5,000, or $5 million, it's the same across the board. Like, they trust you with their brand. You know what I mean? So continue to provide value to them. Again, it's not about the money. And thank you for the love. I have a chapter in there, not chapter, a section that says sponsorship is more than money. It's about really building the relationships. And consider this, right? Consider this. You go to, and this is why I mentioned earlier, I think it might have been Kinko's who opened the term sponsorship to me, because at that time, I was planning it. It's called the Entertainment Industry Network Seminar, Entertainment Industry Network Seminar, and I needed money for that event. One of the reasons I needed money is because I needed flyers to promote the event, and I needed tickets to sell and all of that good stuff. Okay. Okay. I went to Kinko's. Kinko's, some of you might not know Kinko's, you might never heard of Kinko's. And if you have a refresher, Kinko's is a company that print flyers and banners, and they were a printing shop, huge. They were purchased by FedEx in the later years. So Big FedEx took over, no more Kinko's name showed up. So I went to Kinko's and I asked them to sponsor my event, and they told me like, "Hey, we don't have that budget that you're asking for, but we can print your posters and your tickets." And I'm like, "Yes." Because some of the money I needed was to go towards my printing. So it's not always about money. You can get resources too, right? The event took place at a college, so college students go to Kinko's and we print our stuff at Kinko's. Okay, there must be a win-win. You could do the same thing with a car, right? If you're doing a raffle, you can get one of your dealerships to sponsor a car and do a raffle. There's so many ways that you can use sponsorship. Again, you're going stronger, you're going smarter, and you come up more successful when you understand sponsorship, when you know how to communicate with sponsors, and when you know how to sell your event to sponsors. And that is what I teach in my book, How to Secure Sponsors Successfully. Okay. So if you have any questions, do let me know. Please, please do let me know. Okay. And you can find me online at robertavigilance.com. Um, yeah, that's pretty much what I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I just love it. I love empowering individuals with the knowledge that I have, because some of you are doing like you're doing great things out there. If you're planning, a camping trip, or you're planning, a fair or book bag drive, whatever it is, like you are at the forefront doing so much. And then, when you think about it, like you're working a nine, some of you work a 9 to 5, and if you just need some more money to get you to having that event, making that event a reality. So I love this part of it. It saddens me when individuals, you know, um, just only rely on on donations, and then that's the only thing they see, and they don't have this win-win mindset. But it's definitely not for everyone, and a lot of people are obviously using sponsorship. A lot of people are securing sponsors. When you look at the events, right? How do they get these sponsors? Well, now I don't know how they get it, but I know how you you can get it, right? And you can use this information anywhere in the world, right? It tells a sponsorship professional like you know your stuff. And it's great to have a conversation with a person who knows their stuff, which increases your chances of not only securing sponsors, but to get more money. Now it says, I don't know if she will come on, and let's see how this will work. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. I love answering sponsorship questions. If you already have sponsors, hold on to those sponsors. Sometimes you have to let them go. Some sponsors, they just don't serve you any longer. Maybe the culture has changed. Maybe um, you know, you outgrew them. Right? It could be anything. You heard something in the news about your sponsor. Right? Of course, you want to do your fact check, have that conversation with them before you make your decision if you're going to keep them or not. But you have to think about your audience. You don't want to bring someone sticky and mucky to your audience if that's not your intentions. You want to bring good quality, because these individuals will become supporters of the sponsor's brand. So you have to be very vigilant in who you bring home to your audience. Did I invite her? She said, no, I'm not sure. But I'm going to try one more time. And if not, then I'm going to skedaddle, skidoo. Yeah, so been doing it a very long time. Again, my name is Roberta Vigilance. I've been in the event sponsorship space for over 20 years, 25 years. I started as an events planner, looking for money to get funding for my events, and I leveraged pretty much my background in sales to sell my events to companies in my community. And later, I went to corporate America, found out that what I was doing was called sponsorship. When I started to use the correct language, the world of sponsorship and corporate sponsors opened up to me. All of my events were sponsored. The very first one was sponsored because I was looking for money to fund that event, but I didn't know it was sponsorship. I did reach back out to those companies, some of them, the local companies, and say, hey, it's not invest I was doing. It was, I learned that it's called sponsorship. Can I now call you my sponsors? And they said yes. So, for example, one who said yes is called King Bravo Records. King Bravo Records made music for reggae musicians. That's what they did. They made music for reggae musicians. I went to them and said, I'm having this seminar, this entertainment industry network seminar, and I'm targeting the American market. Musicians, excuse me, who do hip hop, who do American music. But what I can do for you, King Bravo, is I can place you in front of this new demographic. So now you have a stretch. You're going from reggae now into the American market. You see what I'm saying? So they paid for that. They saw the vision. Before, what I said to them initially, of course, is would you invest in my event for bringing you up close and personal with my audience? So they paid to become up close and personal. Like that's what the sponsorship is all about. But it was an invest. I wasn't looking to flip their money in the sense of how investors do it. I was looking to bring them into a new market so that they can leverage this connection to say, hey, we make beats and we can now make beats for you, which expanded their portfolio. From now again, they have reggae and they have American music. I call it American music. I don't know what else to call it, um, or hip hop music or R&B music, right? Let me do that from now. Change up the genre. So from reggae, so now they're open to hip hop and to R&B. Okay. So I was born in the US, but I was raised outside of the country. So, yeah. Alrighty. Any questions for me? So when I learned how to secure sponsors, I wanted to bring this information back to my community to say, hey, event planners, hey, event promoters, let me show you how you can make money on the events you're planning. And then it just kept going. And I discovered there's a world outside of my community. And I would just wanted to teach, continue to pour into individuals, pour into them the knowledge, the wisdom, the insight, the experience that I have so they can secure sponsors for their events. Um, I've worked with small to medium size events or businesses as well, um, from mental health to individuals who are doing events to individuals who are doing showcases to showcase their culture. Um, Hi there. Hi, Megan. Right. So it really doesn't matter. This is my first time having really, yes, oh, my second. Um, so it really doesn't matter what type of event it is. Again, size doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where the event is located. So you can use, I must say this though, being now that we have Megan Good on, and anyone can use this information as well. If you are doing a movie, here's the thing. I watched the movie. I'm not a big movie watcher, I'm sorry, but I do enjoy watching some flicks on the YouTube. And I caught one, and Tony Braxton, hear this. Tony Braxton was in the movie, and she was being sued. Part of the scene, she was being sued. And she mentioned, like, I didn't get a sponsor. And creative people stay creative. And I get it. As I mentioned with the Entertainment Industry Network's seminar, they stay creative and they miss out on the business part of things, right? They miss out on the business part of it. And the business part is, how do you generate revenue to what you are doing? How do you generate, like, a person like a Megan Good, a person like a Tony Braxton? Leverage your platform to generate revenue. How do you do that? By using sponsorship. If you have a movie that you want to make, get a sponsor. You don't have to come out of pocket any longer. You just, those are things you just don't, those are things you don't need to do that any longer. Leverage the pull that you have, the access to your network. If there's a passion that you have, like you have this mission that's embedded in you that you wanted to bring to life, you don't necessarily have to use your own money. Get sponsors to fund your passion. But of course, you have to provide value. So, not because you are a Tony Braxton or someone renowned. Some sponsors, they really don't care about it, but show them the value. Maybe you are a Megan Good who has a huge fan base, people who really like celebrate her. I do. I'm one who celebrate her. Uh, so you find those type of sponsors that will celebrate her, that will move her up. Okay. So this way, their name can become part of what she's doing, or she can even find a sponsor to elevate her as well. You know what I mean? So whether it's, let's say, a media sponsor in a different part of the world that can extend her brand even more, right? So sponsorship can be used to, the sponsors can help you achieve your goals as well as you can help them achieve their goals. But you must have a win-win mindset. You must, what you're asking for, you must also give back. That's so important. So, so important. Okay. As I mentioned, I'm a music lover. That's just me. Um, I love music. I love music. When I started in the event planning space. I started because I wanted to provide a platform for musicians, emerging musicians, so that they don't have to sleep their way in the industry. This was during the time we're talking about the 90s. This was during the time that it was said that musicians will have to sleep their way into the entertainment industry. And there were some who didn't want to do that. So I created a platform for them to showcase their talents and them for them to meet industry leaders. And I needed money to make that happen. So sponsorship is a good thing. You must have a win-win mindset. Yeah, good thing. I was saying I don't watch a lot of movies, but I do enjoy any movie that I haven't seen. I'm just transparent. This is who I am. Um, very transparent, and I hope it's not misunderstood. Um, but I do look in YouTube and I search around for some good movies and any movies that Making Good is in would catch my attention because I know that she brings the storyline, in a way that I like. Um, so yeah, there that goes. So I'm not a movie buff, but I would watch her movies. I love, 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 love music. Um, that's just my makeup. But even more so, or equally, I love empowering individuals. I love encouraging them. And sponsorship allows me to do that for those who are ready to secure sponsors, those who are ready to take the steps. Yeah. I've worked with individuals again, who are planning great events, used my information to secure sponsors. I remember this young lady, she came out to my training. I started because I wanted to provide this information to the communities, bring the event sponsorship awareness to communities. I started it was a library tour. The information is on my website. I started a library tour, uh, and this is 2020, and the purpose of the library tour was to bring sponsorship awareness to the community and teach them how to secure sponsors. Because, as I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of people who are doing great things in the community. So I wanted to bring this information to them. And this was one of the ways that I thought would be great to do it by doing this tour. And suddenly, guess what happened in 2020, right? Like the pandemic just like shut down, like everything, all doors were like closed, including the library, doors of the library. So that came to a halt. Um, my thing is, so when it was open, I met this young lady there. She came out to one of the training that I had there. And come to find out, she lived in my neighborhood because we ran into each other. And there was an event that was taking place, and I invited her to the event. And on our way back from the event, she was just talking to me. She was telling me like all these sponsors that she had. And I'm like, and so intrigued. I'm like, "Oh my god, that's good. Like, that's good stuff." And she's like, "Roberta, that's what I was trying to tell you. I learned this from you." So it was a good thing. She was like, she was able to turn her friend, who is a millionaire, she was able to turn her friend, who is a millionaire, into a sponsor just by what? Guess what? Changing up her language. So again, understanding sponsorship, knowing how to communicate with sponsors, and knowing how to sell your event to sponsors will allow you to secure sponsors. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions about securing sponsors? I love to answer sponsorship questions. I love, 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 love it. I work with people who have developed their sponsorship proposal for them. They went off. Some of them I have not heard from. I have never heard anything bad. So that's good. Even when I used to plan events, I would hear things through the grapevine, like one of the entertain this was a teen fashion and talent show that I've done a lot of sponsors for that one as well. And just to keep the teenagers busy during the summertime, keep them on the street so they can stay safe. And I did a teen fashion and talent show. That's what it was called. And I've invited some of the sponsors. One of them was Rockaware. Shout out to, oh my gosh, your name is not coming to me. What's your name? No, that's Tommy Hilfiger. Okay, we got it. His name's not coming to me right now, but um, Jay-Z's company, Rockaware, had was one of the sponsors for the teen fashion and talent show, and they came out. And that's another thing too. That's another thing. Sometimes the sponsors will send someone in the crowd that you don't even know belongs to that company, and they'll come out and just to monitor and see what you're doing. So be very vigilant of that. I ain't had no clue. I'm telling you, I learned from experience, right? Share my experience with you. They will send someone. So you can now, back then I didn't know, all right, let me give out 10 VIP tickets. Da, 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 da. Yeah, you're welcome. But I didn't think of it like that. And even if you do that today, just know it might be a random person in the crowd and they are really there to engage and have a different experience than your VIP guest, right? So I was told that a few young ladies that were in in my fashion show, like they became background dancers for Jay-Z, and I thought that was pretty dope. I mean, no one came back and told me. The dancers didn't come back and tell me, but I heard it through the grapevine. So a lot of people who have used my information and I've worked with, um, so at times I just don't know the success until I know the success, but I know everything that I do and share that they will get success because I that's how I work. I don't stop until they get it. And when they stop, I'm disappointed, but it's their choice. I've done some strategy sessions just recently, great reviews from those individuals as well, and getting them clear on the next step that to, that they should take in the sponsorship process. So, they started. She had a client who just purchased a camp, and they are thinking about sponsorship. And then she brought me in, like, Roberta, how do we go about securing sponsors? What do we do? So find out exactly where they are currently. Did you start already? Do you know who you want to target? Such for where are you in the process? Do you not know anything at all? Like where are you? and then I guide them through to the next steps. I enjoy that as well, providing that clarity to my clients, to individuals. But whether you're a celebrity, whether you are a community leader, whether you are an individual, because individuals can also receive sponsorship too. You can get a sponsor. Yes, you can, because I was able to get my real estate course sponsored by a broker. Again, size of the event doesn't matter. The amount of money that you're asking for doesn't matter. Understand your event, know your audience, know what value you are bringing to sponsors. Know that. And I'm still thinking behind my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope Megan Good didn't take that the wrong way that I don't watch a lot of movies. I hope to God not. But I watch her movies, so she didn't stick around long enough to know that part. But I anything that pops up. Ask me what movie she asked me name of movies, name of musician stuff. I really don't know names, but I like names of music. But when I hear it, I know it. I'm like, yeah, I know that song. So yeah. Any questions for me? I'm not going to invite her again because she's probably just over it right now. She's like, if you think I should invite her again, oh, let me get some hearts. And if I get some hearts, like 23 hearts now, if I got to like 30 hearts, then I'll invite her again. If not, I'll leave it alone. I will leave it alone. If you know anyone who would benefit from this information, please do share it. And YouTube, I'm talking to TikTok, and TikTok, I'm talking to you too. Um, if you know anyone can benefit from this information, please do share it with them. Um, if you know an event planning association or maybe a university that has a marketing program that can bring in a sponsorship subject, please, I would like to meet them, bring my sponsorship training to them so that students can have the mindset and the skill set to secure sponsors for events. Like, why would you want to keep that hidden, right? Why would you want to keep that hidden? So, um, yeah, I'm here for that. You have my website once again. Go out. If you want, I have membership too. If you want to take me on for the year as your client, if you're looking for answers, if you're looking for strategies, if you are looking to grow your sponsorship or solutions, do let me know, right? Do let me know. Okay, I can do that. Answers, clarity, solutions. Contact me. Okay. I love talking about sponsorship. I love finding solutions to sponsorship. And oh, I will also mention that you don't need to stay in one region. I think I mentioned that earlier with the Megan Good situation, that or the Megan Good scenario, where you can reach out to sponsors outside of your area. So if you are, let's say, in the United States and you find a company in Nigeria, reach out to them. Let's say you are in Nigeria and you find a company in Australia, reach out to them, right? You can give them the accessibility, the access that they need to get to their target audience. and you can help them, your event can help them grow. And you can also reach out to them to if it's media, you're looking for a media sponsor, reach out to them so your brand can grow there as well. And I think I'm going to take my own advice on that media sponsor and, and look for brands that are targeting my audience and let them know this is what I do and I can share some information with them as well. But yeah, if you're looking to bring me on as your sponsorship professional, I would really love that opportunity to work with you. How I work is I understand your goals. We should chat. Let's see if we are a good fit for each other. And if we are, we start the process. The first 3 months of working together, it's pretty much getting to understand your event, pulling information from your event, understanding your mission, and even your why. I need to understand like why you are doing this. I need to understand your event dates. I need to understand your budget. We need to pull assets. Like, what are we returning to the sponsor? What value are we returning to the sponsor? So it takes us a good solid 3 months to kind of figure this out unless we're working together every single day, 30 days straight, just going at it. We can do that, but she was that's kind of a burnout, but it's not impossible. If you're up for it, I'm up for it as well. Okay. So the first 3 months, that's what we do. Find out. Learn about your event. We talk about your event. We talk about got the love. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We are 40. Maybe I should invite her again. But let's do this. We find out where your event will be taking place. We learn about your long term goal to see if we can wrap that sponsorship into the long term goal. Do we want to focus on short term? I will make some suggestions to you. Oh, thank you so much for love. Make some suggestions to you. And then we take it from there and we go after those brands. We start talking about industries to target. Who we going to target? My suggestions, you make suggestions too. You might not like, thank you God so much for the love. I appreciate it. You might not like the my brands for whatever reason. You might have used their their products or their services and you just don't like them for whatever reason. You don't like them and you don't want to work with them. So we scratch them off. Maybe we can look for their competitors, but we can't work together, right? Depending on how you bring me in. If you bring me in just to answer questions as you do your own thing and you want answers, then we can meet and do that. If you want strategy sessions, then we can do that. If you want hands on for me to do the research and the outreach for you, we can do that as well. Right. So the good thing is when we work together, we have that year agreement. If you want short term, we can do short term as well, flexible. But if you are a person, an entity that plans multiple events, then let's go for the year because again, you can get answers for all of those events. Each event is different. Can you use the same sponsor? Let's say you have 7 events that's going on, right? That are going on. Let's say can we use the same sponsor for all 7? Like those are questions that you might have and we can um look over, we can review it. Maybe the audience it's different, but you can use the same sponsor. It's not impossible. you have crossover audience. So products that crosses over as well. So that's where the answers come in. That's powerful and impactful for a person who has multiple events. And the same with strategies. Stay on for a year, create some strategies for you so you know how to approach the process with clarity and confidence as well. You know your stuff, right? You're working with it. A sponsorship strategist, a sponsorship specialist, like this is what I do. Um, so, again, you have someone great on your team, um, or again, you just want to focus on the event and you want me to focus on the sponsorship side, the outreach. I can do that for you. Okay, so let me know if you're interested in that. That information is on my website. You uh, click or go to robertavigilance.com. If you were to click the link in the bio, it will take you to the book. But you'll still be on my website and you go to membership and you'll see the three different tiers that are offered there. And that investment, you will make your money back. We have the year to do so. And again, it's repeat. You don't have to look for those sponsors again once you return value to that sponsor, which is so important. So important. Okay. And if you're not ready for that commitment, then I would say you can get my book. Start there so you and I can have the same type of mindset and come back and ask me, anything, any questions that you have in the book. I'll be glad to answer. Again, I love answering sponsorship questions. Okay. Do we have any type of questions? I'm not even looking here, but I don't see any questions here. Anyone here? Alrighty then. Thank you so much. I probably don't want to say when. I just don't know. But if you have any questions, you have my information there. I love to answer. I would love to work with you. I love the success part of it. Again, it's a process, um, but the outcome is great. It's grand. You're able to implement events, an event that you care about, that you are passionate about. You get to bring your event to life. You get to enhance your event. You get to bring a sponsor along with you. And then you have a specialist, someone who specializes in event sponsorship on your team that will make it much easier for you. So you have a sounding board, you have someone who can answer these questions, you have someone who could do the research that would free you up to do other things, right? We do a check-in. You can do a check-in, a weekly check-in, how often you want to stay in contact with me, and we continue to check the progress, right? Because it's all about reaching that end goal. Whatever that end goal is, that's where I'm focused. That's what success. We define what the success looks like to you. Is it reaching the end goal of having a clear sponsorship proposal? Is that the end goal? And you take it from there? Or is the end goal getting $500,000 in sponsorship? What is the end goal? Let's talk about that, right? During our session, let's talk about it. How are we going to get it? Do we need 4 sponsors? Do you want to work with 20 sponsors? Do you want to work with sponsors outside of the area? Like we talk about all of these things. Just create this plan and then I check away and get it done for you so that you can get the sponsorship in time, right? So that's the goal. That's the goal. It's a lot of work that goes into securing sponsors. You have to be, it's a lot of time. You have to be relentless because you need to make that goal. And you need to make that goal in time, right? What happens s- if you don't make that goal, right? The event doesn't happen, the sponsors lose. Like, so we have to look at all of that. And that's what the investment goes to, like working relentlessly, because it's not only you and I, we also have a partner, we also have the sponsor. We made a commitment to ourselves that we are going to do this event. Now we have sponsors' money and we have to implement, right? So we need to create a plan because the last thing we want to do with my name in it is become blacklisted. Like we took the money and ran. Like, we're not doing that. Right? That's lawsuits. But we're not doing that. People have asked me, do I work on commission alone? No, I don't. No, I don't. I do not work on commission. I would not do it. Been there, done it. I picked up the weight too much. And it's not because that person like let down the whole partnerships that we have now. I'm not doing it. Like disgruntled. I'm the person that's hurt, like you're in a relationship and your heart got broken. Now you don't want to date. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying from that experience, I'm like, no, this doesn't work for me. This works for me because the time that I have to put in should be compensated. So that's where the cost come in. Commission is really saying to people like, like you don't believe in your event enough that you don't want to invest into getting assistance for what you need. No. No, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, I've been doing it for 25 years. You know, I love to see people win, man. I just do. I really, really, truly do, so they can keep the commitment to themselves. Hi, Aldo. All right. Now, anyone here have an event I can invite you on? We can talk about your event. Maybe we can do a quick Q&A session up here. That way, that should be interesting. Again, I love to answer sponsorship questions. So you can join me up here. We go up there and I can answer your questions. So that was cool. That was a cool, cool, cool one. I thank you for sticking around who have stuck with me. It's been up here for about an hour, right? Hour, 18 minutes. I hope you found the information helpful. If you have any questions, please ask them now. And until next time, I look forward to hearing from you, okay? Take care. We want to learn about your event and how we can get some sponsorship for it and bring it to life, expand it, make it successful. Oh, before I was about to jump off, and one thing too, even with my with the client that I have, like things will happen. things will happen. Life will be life, and it just happened that way sometimes. I don't know. Don't ask me why, but I work with clients and life be life and at times. But if you give me permission, oh, my Roshi's go. My planning smells good, but it looks like it's going bye bye soon. But with permission, I continue to stay on you until we achieve that goal, if you allow me to. I don't try to be pushy because sometimes, as I mentioned, life is life. But if you want to get to that end goal without the pressure on you alone, then I believe I'm your person. I believe I'm your person. We get to the end goal, even when life be life, and because that's what you wanted to achieve. Not pay me and then disappear. Like we don't want to do that. And I cannot stop that from happening because it has happened in the past. But if you want to get to that goal and want to achieve success and want to partner with that sponsor and want your audience, you want to see your audience win and do what you do, then I'm your person. Take care. Bye. YouTube.